the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Bitcoin currently trading at 0. Hey, what's going on, guys? We've got $64,169.14. Absolute bloodbath out here. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map. Gold and silver are not safe from the dumpage either. They got decimated yesterday, getting decimated again today. Minus 1.06% on gold, 4,724. Silver down 2.79%, $68.96. Number go down. And yeah, Bitcoin is up 1.92% on the day, but looks like shit. Looks like complete shit. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. Let's see. Tom Select Scout said he could fix it in 2 seconds. Whoops. Did I say Warsh? I meant Hassett. Cody said he's been the most pro-crypto president ever, but, you know, it's out of greed for his own scams. SBF is buttering him up for a pardon. LOL. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Honestly, if it does happen, though, who cares? Because they already pardoned CZ, so. G Immortal said, wow, disappointed. What the hell is going on? We don't know. I have 0 answers. There's no news that caused this. It's the full-year cycle. So. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to go through some charts really quick, and then we're getting into the news segment. There's a lot of news today, but none of it would have led to whatever the heck this is. ETH is up 3.5% on the day. Currently trading at $1,890.61. Big fat dump. Looks like crap. RSI is oversold, but that doesn't matter. Is there divergence? There is bullish divergence, but again, it's the bad kind that points to further downside. Short-term uptrend with a continued downtrend, with the RSI continued uptrend. You know what I mean. Tishu said, I'm buying the bleed later in the year if the market allows me to. I'm sitting still for now. Might micro DCA some. Yeah, I'm trying to just breathe. Trying to just step back and breathe, watch everything. I don't want to get a little FOMO. You know, the second chart turns green, I don't want to be like, oh, I gotta buy this. Because I've done that. And it's pretty bad. Tom Salixcoat said, once again, getting 3.5% in high yield savings account looks good these days. That's what the banks want you to think, man. So my theory right here is Clarity X getting all jumbled. And the banks are like, well, let's shake things up. Let's make people hate crypto again. And not care about stablecoin yield. Because we need fractional reserve. We don't want one-to-one backed. We don't want high yield stablecoins. Get out of here. That's my tinfoil hat theory right now. Cody said, after living through the Luna, Celsius, and FTX crash, nothing can faze me anymore. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the worst thing in the world, though, is altcoins doing Nothing. For the entirety of the bull market that people are calling it, the 4-year cycle that just forgot about altcoins and resulted in Bitcoin breaking all-time highs before the 4-year cycle. It's fine. Whatever. Let's see. Tom Selleck's Goat said, this is way worse than the Luna FTX because there is zero cause this time, and my stocks and metals are all going to crap. There is no asset class going up right now. Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are doing really good. I bought more. I have 2 booster boxes right here. And I also have a bunch of booster packs right here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have a bunch of booster packs right here. Yes. Yes. Those smell really bad. They smell really awful. Saeed said, hi, sir. Thanks for providing us with wisdom, informative live stream. Being in India, I get to know the latest news early in the morning hours. I appreciate that, Seed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Not financial advice, but if you guys have Pokemon cards out in India, highly recommend. Okay. ETH, like I said, up 3.7% on the day. We got a support bounce at 1,812 based on previous price action from probably 14 years ago. Let's see if we continue to bounce here. Volume's ticking up, which is impressive, but everything else looks like doo-doo. Tishu said, so this 2026 bull market has been fantastic, right, JJ? 100%. This is a Pokemon bull market, is what I was referencing. I never specified what kind of bull market. I also don't recall saying 2020. I mean, I guess I do last. Maybe it doesn't start until after October. November, December is when the bull market really starts. You know what I mean? Tom Selleck Scout said, bro, overnight on metals is wild, just nuking. Everything is. Everything's nuking. Nothing's really surprising. Jacob Duro 88 or 888 said Bitcoin will fall below 58. I believe it at this point. You could tell me Bitcoin's going to 10K. That's a meme at this point. Like it's probably going to 10K. But usually when people get this hopeless is when we do get a bounce. We got a nice wick on Solana, even though it's well below $100, down 1.16% on the day, $77.44. Wick down to 68, back above 75. Are we going to hold? Incredibly oversold. There isn't even a bullish div here. It's just going down. Not really sure what to say about this. Volume's going up, which is nice, but everything else looks bad. Total 3, 674.55 billion. My uber bearish guess was 7-Eleven. We passed right through that. My head and shoulder target attempt for science was 540 billion. Let's see if that plays out. Wouldn't that be crazy? If we do hit that, I'll probably buy. What did I say? I said in the Discord that I was backing the truck up at 60K Bitcoin. Probably going to do that. We did. What's interesting about that is we got a lovely little bounce. Like that wick went right to 60K, bounced off of it. Obviously, we talked about my low targets. I was saying 70 and maybe 65 for the little fake out wick to the downside or the little fake out chop to the downside based on the previous bull market. I think it was index. Nope, I lied. Hang on. It was crypto. Let's go to the weekly. Bam. No? Did I lie about that one too? What one is it on? Am I crazy? Binance? It's Binance. Okay. So yeah, based on this, I mean, we were looking for this to play out over a longer period of time. What was the pullback target on there? Let's go see. So last bull market, if you're going from candle body to candle body, top to bottom, we went from 65K-ish to 16K-ish, 75%. If we go down 75% this time around from candle body to candle body, we're looking at a approximate not financial advice target. Use my affiliate links in the description to support the channel. 75%, we're going down to 30K. 30K. Let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff. Tishu said, I remember you saying you think 2026 would be a bull market. It's all right. You can be wrong. I mean, I've said everything that can be said, though. I've never said anything concrete. 2026 was my estimate for a proper bull market. I was estimating that we were 1 year behind schedule. Does that make sense? Like everything was going to be extended by 1 year, which technically I'm not going to abandon that. I am going to be the asshole. I apologize. I'm so sorry for this, guys. Let's put this on here. $30,000, minus 75%, 30K. Let me put this on here first before I go into my little spiel. 75% pullback level. So, hear me out. Bitcoin has big pullbacks. What if this is a bear trend in a broader bull market? It's 48%. We've had 50% pullbacks before. If we bounce from here and go higher, then I'm going to be such an insufferable douche about the 2026 bull market. However, I will set a rule that will give me a little bit of leeway here. If this does happen, but we do not make a new all-time high in 2026, then I will eat a sock. How about that? Little Jordan Cameron callback. Let's go that route. Now, that's not me saying I'm confident in this move. I'm totally okay with eating socks. I'm not a foot guy. I actually hate feet. They will be brand new socks, and I'll probably involve something along the lines of hot sauce. Maybe not hot sauce, though. I got really bad heartburn. So I'll do like ketchup or something. Maybe I'll like shred it up and put it on a hot dog and actually ingest it. Would that be disgusting? Okay, we got some more stuff to catch up on. Tom Selleck-Scope said, only thing I can say is we tapped exactly 60K on Bitcoin and we bounced. So that's such a hilarious level to be bottom. I guess it's possible. Cody said, this is pretty much retesting the top of the last cycle. Wouldn't be surprised to get a bounce here. Jacob said, not 10, but will fall into weekend. Tom Selleck-Scope said, yeah, watch this dead cat to 75, maybe 80, and straight back to Goblin Town. Low. Tom Selleck-Scope said top of last cycle was 69K. We way below that top. It's like 35K. Cody said, was that the monthly close for last cycle high? It's weekly. Tisha said, told you 39K possible. Tom Selleck-Scope said, Fun Strat said bottom at 69K or 60K. Not Tom Lee, but the other guy. No, don't do it, Jordan. 3K subs, sock eating. Honestly, you guys get me to 3K subs, I'll do all kinds of freaky shit. Tyven said, are you excited for the Jolteon consensus protocol powering midnight? No, I don't know anything about that. I also kind of don't like midnight. I don't have anything against it, but I think it's liquidity extraction. And yes, that is me being a childish little bitch. So I'm not sorry. I've seen no value proposition brought forward by it. And also, that's bear market JJ talking, so I'm a bit of a pessimist. I apologize in advance for that. I'm going to suck for a little while. I'm trying not to. I did take a little bit of an edible before the stream, so I can tell jokes and be funny. that's so unhealthy. I'm like, oh, I require substance in order to be happy. I'm joking, by the way. I'm trying to be funny. Okay. Bitcoin getting a little bounce here. A little bounce for ants. A little bit of relief in the misery. Where were we? Let's talk about total 3. We talked about it already. There's not much to really talk about. Let's see if 540 ends up hitting as our head and shoulder target. Interesting to see some green amongst the sea of red. Not entirely sure what spawned this. I don't know why anyone would buy cryptocurrency right now. I'm not trying to be that guy, but genuine question. Why would anyone buy cryptocurrency right now? Chainlink currently trading at $8 down, or I'm sorry, up 1.01% since the daily close, which was like hour and a half ago. So people scooped some up afterwards. I believe that coincides with Asian market open. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Maybe it's Japan. $8.02. I don't know where this thing's going. I like that it bounced off of like just above $7. And it's holding above 7.5. 7.5 is going to be a psychological level. Incredibly oversold here. We do have some bullish div, but again, it's a wrong kind of bull div, which will result in higher RSI over time and lower price over time. A temporary reversal, though. Doge. I'm not going to talk about Doge. Doge looks like crap. Gold down 0.71% on the day, currently trading at $4,742.89. Are we going to get a bounce here? And is this going to coincide with the fractal, with that slow grind up? Obviously, only time will tell. But we're here for it. We are here for the possibility. Silver, on the other hand, silver actually looks bad. Currently trading at $70.26. We got a nice wick, which is indicative of some buying pressure. But again, if we get any kind of move here, that will be the wrong kind of bullish div again, which results in short-term uptrend and a longer-term downtrend on the price, longer-term uptrend on the RSI. Tom Selleck Scott said no likes till 70K or above. I mean, it's up to the people, man. It's up to the people. DXY, bouncing off of that 15-year trend line. We did a little fake out below that. First time in history since 2011 that we got below that trend line. So it's going to be interesting to see if we actually continue up from here on the DXY. We've talked about it a million times. Pumpy DXY is bad for crypto, bad for everything, to be completely honest. From an asset standpoint, it is good for you when you go grocery shopping, though. That's about the only benefit. Issue there is if the grocery manufacturers don't care, then they'll just continue to raise the price, and it's going to cost you more anyway, so it doesn't matter. Tisha said, I learned something with today's bounce. I'm not going to be able to buy the bottom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's going to keep going lower. Okay. DXY, we're keeping an eye on this. Maybe it'll reject 98. Maybe it'll reject 98.5, 99. We'll keep an eye on every single half mark. Mr. Roberts said, yo, hello, JJ, hello all. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? Giovanni said, oh, why does it have to dip right when my car breaks? Oh, that sucks. What happened, man? You anywhere in Michigan? I've fixed 1 million cars. It's ridiculous how many cars I've fixed. Mine is still making noise. I think it's the CV. It's driving me crazy, man. I'm ready to just drive it off a cliff. Not inside of it, obviously, but I would set up a camera so that I could monetize it at least a little bit. I have made more money off that van from third-party insurance claims than what it has cost me so far, though. So it is a bit of a cash cow. MicroStrategy continues to plummet, down 17.12% on the day, currently trading at 106. Is it going to hold 100? You got a little wick down there, and it actually bounced off of it, which is interesting. I have no value proposition for this thing. It's just going to continue to plummet, I'm sure. Maybe it's going to bounce now that I've said that, because that's usually how things go. But last time it took a big fat dump. It does this curly thing. You might get a bounce, and then it eventually sells off. This is what I suspect Bitcoin's about to do as well. See what I mean? That's that dead cat bounce. I'm not saying that's going to happen, again, because I think it's so much doom for Big B Coffee, a.k.a. MicroStrategy. It's probably going to bounce and actually benefit from some semblance of price action. What if I said, JJ, no, say hi to me? F his likes. I thought I said hi. What if I said, use like degens? Appreciate you, Waterfly. John Tujo said, the real question is why every market pulling back at the same time, and where's the money going? I think people are just going cash heavy, man. DXY is showing strength. People don't want assets. The jig is up. The Ponzi is over. Look at this. Wow. Wow. The Nasdaq has crashed. I'm going to call that a crash. I think that that's reasonable. We had a nice green print with that ISM, bullish ISM data. We've officially fallen 6% since then. It is oversold, so maybe we get some relief. It could be doing one of these. Problem is that one obviously led us to this. So we'd have to use one that isn't looking like that, because maybe it's doing one of these where it goes, wow, and then it goes higher later. Tricking people into thinking it's a head and shoulder. I don't know. I don't know. Giovanni said, timing issue, checked all the sensors associated with it and replaced some CEL still on. So it's probably the timing chain. That's awful. That sucks so bad. Waterfly said, JJ, yep, I read that. Giovanni said, facts, John. What's up, Robbers? Mr. Roberts said, Giovanni. 88 Metals Mania said, I think a lot of the metal money went into Asian markets, not Western. They do hold a lot of metals out that way. Yeah, I think people are just loading up on cash, man. Nobody wants investments anymore. Hawkish Fed is bad for investments. Investments are a rich man's tool. And it just so happens that the poor man, us, just recently got a hold of them right when, for whatever reason, the president of the United States decided to elect a historically hawkish, pro-dollar, anti-quantitative easing Federal Reserve chair. So our entire game plan that we had formulated and dollar cost averaged into and built bags around is basically getting flushed down the toilet along with our net worth. So, but if you're a homeowner, you're about to benefit tremendously. So, congratulations, because we didn't work hard for homes. The people that own homes did. What if I said I'm 96% invested? I'm 96% shitting my pants. Yeah, ETH is bouncing again, up 4.57%. We're going to get a dead cat bounce no matter what. I suppose this is when it's going to happen, when everybody stopped caring and probably sold all their bags. We have plummeted below everyone's price target except for Dream Tanks. Dream Tanks so far, actually that's not true. T-Shoe called 39K. But as of right now, Dream Tanks is in the lead with his guess of $53,527.49. Tom Seller Scout said, in other words, F Trump, why am I going to benefit if I'm a homeowner? Oh, he said that he's not going to lower housing cost prices because the people that don't own homes didn't work hard for them. Even though the people that do own homes, a good fair percentage of them, probably 25% of them, bought them when they were worth like the cost of a bushel of apples and a freaking wooden outhouse. But we didn't work hard for them. You know, it's not the fact that the dollar has lost like 99% of its value. It's because we didn't work hard for them. So I agree. F Trump. 88 Metals Mania said 58.1-ish for what? Oh, John Tujo said, how's that Bitcoin dominance looking? Yeah, 58.63 at the moment. It did get down pretty far. But we'll see. Tishu said 39K target guess is for end of year. Don't put a time frame on it. Don't do that. It's probably going to hit tomorrow. And it's going to take until the end of the year to get away from it. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance continuing to fall. This one's interesting. If we lose 57.6, I don't remember why that's on there. Maybe that was the local low. Yeah, some semblance of a low right there. But we haven't been below that in quite some time. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I gotta move my damn thing. I want some JJ edibles. They are pretty good. Michigan has good marijuana products because the market's so oversaturated that the ones that succeed are the ones that actually make high quality. Okay, interesting. Would you look at that? I gotta get rid of all these damn drawings. We got a lower trend line around 42-ish. So let's see. Yeah, get rid of all those. Are we going to break down from here? It looks like we're right here. If I had to put a previous pattern on it. We bounced off of 72 rejection, then we went up to 68. We bounced off of 66 rejection, then we went up to 60. We're going to break down from here. And one last hoorah before the bull market. I would say this is actually a better metric for a bull market than anything else. And that's because I want altcoins to pump. So yes, it is me being biased. But I don't know. We'll see. We're at 58.64. Obviously, I think our best bet is getting below 50 for real. But I mean, we never really spent too much time below 50. Right here, I'm going to guess this is alt season. May 21 through April 23. I do remember this time being really fun. Oh, I understand. I think I understand it now. I understand. This is the bear market. This is the bear market. So, yeah, we're probably in a Bitcoin dominance is going to fall. But where's the money going to go? I think people are just going to leave it in alt and leave the space. And all the Bitcoin maxis are going to panic and sell their bags. That's probably what happens if I had to put my finger on the pulse and take a wild guess. Okay. Let's zoom back in. We got some news for you guys. I'm not sure what it is, but it doesn't really justify what the hell happened today. Bitcoin just decided to jump off the cliff. $64,615. And now it's going to rebound a little bit. Just to make everyone think that it's going to be okay for like 5 minutes. The October 10th Binance Wick has been filled on Cardano. Snec actually held up better than most. Look at Cardano, lost that level. Snec held up. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Made me feel good. Waterfly said, your wild guess, complete opposite of mine. Oh, that people are selling their Bitcoin. People are panic selling their Bitcoin, and all people are just walking away, leaving their bags untouched. Okay, let's see. I have some news items for you guys. Bitcoin Archive posted 10 hours ago. Bitcoin daily RSI is now lower than the bottom of the 2022 bear market. The bounce is on the way. We will see. We've got Glassnode posting the Bitcoin capitulation metric has printed its second largest spike in 2 years, highlighting a sharp escalation in forced selling. Like I said, we overdid ourselves with leverage. These stress events typically coincide with accelerated de-risking and elevated volatility as market participants reset positioning. Yeah, they sell the lows, and then a couple of new people step in and buy. The price goes up a little bit higher than where these people sold, and then those people buy back in, basically cutting a huge chunk out of their position. Oaktree said bought more ADA at 23 cents. I'm about to throw 23 cents in as well. Hell yeah. Gene Simmons posted, this one just made me laugh because it's just Gene Simmons. It was so random. My personal philosophy, RE Bitcoin, is to hold, hodl. I firmly believe in the future. You need to do your own research and make your own decisions. That's the most Gene Simmons shit I've ever seen. John Tujo said Epstein, quantum, Ponzi, shift, Trump, etc. All these reasons for market nuke. I think the reasons are people don't believe in Bitcoin anymore because it's performed like shit so far. Excuse me. I have to take a sip of my chai latte. Cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow's DCA day. That's good news. We get a paycheck from the fiat mines. Excuse me. I am in the process of dying. Okay. Whales are buying the panic. This was posted 8 hours ago from HODL Capital. We will see. Nvidia will pause new gaming GPU releases in 2026 due to a global memory chip shortage. January layoffs surged to 17-year high. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Unemployment looks really, really bad. Jobs data looks really, really bad. The Fed might actually genuinely have to come in and do an emergency rate cut. But they probably won't because it's all a joke. Breaking U.S. job cuts totaled 108,000 in January, the highest start to a year since 2009, according to Challenger. What we're seeing is a classic rotation from software stocks to poverty. This one made me laugh. Good classic, good classic. Big money equals big corrections. I don't think it's big money. I think it's big leverage. I think big leverage equals big sell-off. I think everyone was over-leveraged through their teeth, and they just got completely decimated. I think that's exactly what happened. We had the pandemic. So here's my timeline. We had the pandemic, and for whatever reason, I don't know, the casino lobbyists stepped in. They were like, you gotta legalize online gambling. And the government was like, okay. And they legalized online gambling, and then everyone got really used to it. So then leverage trading came around with crypto, and GameStop got really big, and everyone was like, oh, what's this crypto thing? Let's leverage trade the shit out of it. 2021 was huge because there's so much liquidity. We're all celebrating. We're like, oh my gosh, we're all geniuses. We're making so much money, whatever. And then it all comes tumbling down. The money rotates out of the cryptocurrency space into wherever, the rich people's pockets who just hold or build, get into real estate. They get into everything except for crypto. And then we're sitting here like, ooh, let me buy some cryptocurrency. Do you have any avalanches? And then our little bit of liquidity pumps the price up a little bit. Institutions are buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a big blow off top crazy phase having all-time high. We're sitting here in altcoins like any day now. We're going to have an alt season, and all of the leverage has just gone overboard. There's no new liquidity injections. There's no money printer, go bird, none of that stuff. Powell's got to stick up his ass. Trump has a boner for him, and nothing happens. And then everything comes crumbling down because of the 4-year cycle maxis and the self-fulfilling prophecy, even though the 4-year cycle was dead when Bitcoin broke its all-time high before the halving. But I digress. That's my theory. If I had a red thread board, that's basically, it would all boil down to online gambling. That's my guess. If you want to online gamble, use my Kalshi referral link in the description, and we both get $25 in non-withdrawable site credit when you deposit and trade with $25 or more. It is gambling though, so treat it as such. Only play with money that you can afford to lose. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed Index is at 11. And the cryptocurrency fear and greed index. Oh my gosh, no, it's not. It's at 5. Whoa, holy crap. I don't know if I've ever seen this that low. That's freaking crazy. It's never been this low. Wow. What happens if it goes to 0? That's crazy. Let's let's check the other one. This one's my favorite because they just stopped measuring 15% of their data. It is at 9 though. Has it ever been at 9? Let's go to max. Yes. What? If this is the lowest, what is that? 5? That's gone down to 7. Yeah, it's probably 5. We're not allowed to see that one. There's 7. Maybe it's at 6. I don't know. That got pretty bad over there. This one's at 5 right there. There you go. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I was not expecting that. Those are some low numbers. Wow. 5 is crazy. Okay. Let me check the chat really quick. Oak Tree said buy an ADA all the way to 4 cents. I'll buy it at 0. G Immortal said, hey JJ, scoop Avalanche and Uni like crazy. What's your opinion, please? I like Avalanche. I do like Avalanche. Uniswap I feel like will do good whenever people return to the DeFi space. So I like both of them. I really do. Avalanche, anything below 10 I feel like is crazy. Uniswap, I'm not entirely sure. Uni USDT. Let's see. I mean, it's at a great low price. That's for damn sure. It had a beautiful trend line that it busted below. See, this is a big issue. Yeah, Oak Tree said send the shit to 0. That's what I mean. Like, we have these wonderful trend lines that have held for years, like borderline decades, and then we just break below them. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. And everyone's like, oh, the 4-year cycle, and people are just rotating out of altcoins into precious metals, and the meme coins were oversaturated because of pump fun. And that's not why at all. There's no data pointing to that being the issue. So it's got me a little flabbergasted as like a data junkie, if you will. I'm a little smeckledorfed, as SpongeBob would say. Bitcoin getting a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame, currently trading at $65,349.80, up 3.99% on the day. ETH is up 5.91, outperforming Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, alt season has officially arrived. Altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin to the downside. Congratulations, we made it. Mr. Robert said, I'm just kidding, Waters. I shouldn't say. Oh, what do we got? Oak Tree said, Avalanche is sexy. That's disgusting. Mr. Robert said, I booked a vacation day tomorrow. When we hit 63K today, I'm in the process of getting drunk and considering 10x leverage. What if I said no leverage, mister? Mr. Roberts said, I'm just kidding, Waters. I shouldn't say stuff like that. I'm actually just prepping a new Beetle body to paint for a new RC car. I'm having beers, though. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roberts is living his best life. That's what we all need to do, because no matter what the market does, we should be enjoying our day-to-day. You know, it's all fun and games when you're rich, but Elon literally posted today some really sad shit about, like, money actually doesn't buy happiness or something with, like, a sad face. And he's the richest man in modern history, so it's kind of crazy. Like, regardless of what you think about the guy, that shit's fucking sad. What if I said I'm drinking Stella Artois, mister? Of course you are. I'm a Blue Moon guy. I like me a good Blue Moon. And if I'm not drinking Blue Moon, I like regular Budweiser. Not enough people drink real beer anymore. Oh, I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. Let's see. Elon Musk says money can't buy happiness. There you go. He said whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. And then he posted a sad face. That sucks so bad when you have trillions of dollars and no one to love. That was not meant to be a joke, but that's how it came out. $130 billion wiped out from the crypto market cap in the past 24 hours. That was 23 hours ago. Silver crashes under $75, falling over 15% in a single day. Bitcoin falls under 71,000, currently trading at 65,269 and 31 cents. Wow! What a crazy time to be alive. Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin sold 2,972 Ethereum for $6.69 million over the past 3 days. Guys, the edible JJ Hardy's delirious. Vitalik sold ETH last bull bear transition, which I thought was really interesting because he doesn't sell at the top, or at least people don't bring attention to it, maybe. I vividly remember reading, I think, a post very similar to this, and it was either on the way down or near the bottom of the last bear. I find it interesting because he's probably got a ton of ETH. So I do respect him for not selling the top and like causing some kind of weird capitulation. But also picking now to sell seems almost irresponsible. If you're gonna sell, he should just be selling a little bit every week or something like that. Just so that way people are just used to it and they're like, oh, Vitalik's like automated sell is happening again. I don't know. It seems weirdly irresponsible for people to know your wallet and you're just like, I'm gonna sell $6.69 million worth of ETH. What if I said Vitalik loading his slut money? Tom Selleck said, it's easy for someone who's rich to say money doesn't buy happiness. I agree. I 100% agree. My favorite thing in the world is when people are so detached that they don't give a shit. So Elon saying that is a little bit funny to me, but my favorite thing so far that I've seen is last bear market when shit was getting real bad. It was getting bleak. George from Cryptos RS legit goes live from a pool at a resort to talk about how you have to take profits and, you know, the bear market sucks, but we're going to get through it. It was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen on the internet. That shit killed me. It was freaking hilarious. He was literally like floating in a pool. And I was like, damn, George is fucking savage. Holy crap. It was pretty good. It was good stuff. So I enjoy George. He makes me laugh. I think it's completely unintentional as well, which makes it even more funny. Derek said, sup, JJ? What's going on, Derek? Tom Selleck Goat said, he said, and I don't feel even a little bad for Elon. He's part of the problem, not the solution. What if I said Fat George in pool? No, bud, no. All right. Bitcoin bullish engulfing continues. Did I get an alert? No, I did not. Okay. I got a bunch of alerts from Coinbase earlier. Let's see how many. Wow. I got ETH, 180-day low. Avalanche down 10.53%. ADA down 10.4%. SWE down 7.94%. DOT down 7.31%. Algo down 10.68%. Ladies and gentlemen, number go down. Number go down. This is indeed a true fact, unfortunately. $100 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes. That was 14 hours ago. From Watcher Guru, we got $4 trillion. JP Morgan says Bitcoin now is even more attractive than gold long term. Bitcoin falls under $67,000, $355 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes. That was 10 hours ago. Tom Lee's Bitmine ETH investment is currently at $8 billion unrealized loss. That was 10 hours ago, so it's probably even worse now. Treasury Secretary Bessent says there are rumors China is developing digital assets not backed by the yuan. I don't know what that means. What if I said Bitcoin moving up? It's over. It's up 4.33%. We are officially, ladies and gentlemen, let me pull up the meme. Hang on. I have the perfect description of what this is, what we're experiencing here. We are officially entering Pump for Ants territory. Bitcoin's moving up, guys. Bitcoin's moving up. Let's go. Okay. T-shirt said number went down. Number still go down or up from here? Up. I like 60K. I talked about 65. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. So at this point, I've reached pessimist mode. I think it's doom and gloom. Bitcoin's going to 10K. So hopefully it bounces from here. I'm trying to get it to bounce. Treasury Secretary Bessent says, unlike the Federal Reserve, I can't print magic money. What's Bessent's net worth? Scott Bessent net worth. This guy's net worth is $500 million. Yeah, you can print money, asshole. Get out of my face. Where are my bags, man? Binance founder CZ says he's poor again. Last time I posted this was when Bitcoin dropped from 67K to 30K-ish. Did all right in the end. No, you didn't, because it's at 65K right now. And it went down 50% more from when you posted that. So are you saying it's going to go down to 30K? Is that what you're saying? Because that's kind of crazy. Crazy thing to say, CZ. McDonald's surpassed ETH in total market cap. That is not a joke. McDonald's is actually worth more than Ethereum now. $65,000 Bitcoin. We're at 65,629. Very cool. Shout out to JW, the Cruise 9034 said. Tom Selexio said arrest CZ. Mr. Roberts said we are so effing back, LOL. Let's go, let's go. Saeed said Bitcoin was oversold. I think it will go down again in the weekend. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down again, but I'm not basing any positions on my emotions. I'm going to continue to hold my bags, and I'm going to DCA tomorrow, just like I have been. Whether or not I DCA in the crypto is up for debate. I might buy some more Pokemon cards because those are the only things that I own that hasn't decreased in value. Because President Trump can't print Pokemon cards. He can't regulate Pokemon cards. What if I said CZ should be back in prison? They pardoned him, and guess what? His pardon came after October 10th. What a coincidence. Isn't that weird? A lot of coincidences today. Elon Musk says Starlink is not developing a phone. That's sad. Breaking Bitcoin. Maybe that's why he posted that Money Can't Buy Happiness thing. It's really sad that Starlink isn't developing a phone. Bitcoin crashes below 65K. What is that? $2 trillion wiped out from the crypto market cap since October 2025, all-time high. Wow. Satoshi's dream has come true. Philly said, JJ, with what happened yesterday and today, considered a capitulation? I'd say this is a flash crash. Capitulation, I think, was us probably going below 90K. This is a flash crash. This is like Black Swan shit. What if I said, don't buy Pokemon cards, you moron? That might be my favorite Waterfly sentence. Don't buy Pokemon cards, you moron. Accelerated bear market 2026 from Marty Party. He said Trump election price $68,900, 50% of previous all-time high, 63,000. Weekly market maker moving average 68,800. 200 weekly exponential moving average 69,000, nice 800. 200 weekly simple moving average 58,800. Wow. Tom Selexgoat said Starlink gonna connect to T-Mobile network phones, so no need to make a phone. Wow. That's actually really funny because my Mint Mobile uses T-Mobile network. So, but it's only $15 a month. I just paid for that today too. Derek said fear and greed at 5 on CoinMarketCap. I saw that, dude. That's crazy. It's never been that low on CoinMarketCap. Mr. Robert said CZ can eat an average size D. He did already. He served time, remember? Liquidation map to 29 billion shorts to $109,000. That doesn't matter. That's an arbitrary number. Amazon earnings reported its Q4 2025 earnings for the quarter ending December 31st, 2025, today, February 5th. After the market closed, key results, net sales up 14% year over year from Q4 2024. This beat analyst expectations. Earnings per share, $1.95, slightly missing or in line with estimates of $1.95 to $1.97. Amazon Web Services is increased 24% year over year, which is weird because that shit went down like 400 times. Operating income, $25 billion, up from $21.2 billion year over year, though adjusted for special charges, tax disputes, blah, blah, blah. Amazon expect to invest about $200 billion in capital expenditures across Amazon in 2026. I'm pretty sure they dumped. Oak Tree said JJ holds 69 BTC. Now, if I held 69 BTC, I would have sold that shit. Strategy earnings. I need a house, man. I gotta buy a damn house. MicroStrategy reported its Q4 2025 earnings February 5th, 2026. Earnings per share, actual diluted EPS was minus 42.93, a significant miss compared to consensus estimates around minus 20.99, or similar figures like minus 18 to plus 3. Varying pre-report, blah, blah, blah. Revenue up 1.9% year over year. Operating loss, $17.4 billion, largely driven by unrealized loss on digital assets of $17.4 billion under fair value accounting rules applied since early 2025 for comparison. The price year's Q4 had a $1 billion impairment loss under the old cost-less impairment model. Net loss, $12.4 billion. Compared to $670.8 million net loss. Net loss attributable to common stockholders was $12.6 billion. Bitcoin holdings. Cool. Oak Tree said, great stream, bro. I'm off to bed. Good night. Take it easy. Oak Tree, I appreciate you. Cheers. Thanks for smashing the like button. Happy Thursday, my friend. Have a good one. Tom Selleck said, Amazon dumped after earnings, but for no reason like everyone else was pretty good earnings. I agree, actually. And it did. And there's no reason for it. Amazon stock down 10% on earnings. Breaking, the U.S. Economic Surprise Index, I don't know what the heck this is, jumped 13.2 points this week to 53.5, the highest since November 2023. This index measures economic data relative to consensus estimates, rising above zero when data exceeds expectations and falling below zero when data miss expectations. Since December, the gauge has risen 58.1 points, marking the biggest 6-week increase since September 2024. This follows strong ISM manufacturing PMI, durable goods orders, and consumer sentiment data. Furthermore, the Global Economic Surprise Index rose 10 points this week to 30, the highest level since May 2023, suggesting an improvement in the worldwide economic data. Historically, a surging economic surprise index has been a leading indicator for the US dollar index. The US dollar setting up for a rebound? It probably is. We actually talked about this earlier without me even knowing what the heck this was. SpaceX advisors have reached out to major index providers, including Nasdaq, to discuss how SpaceX can join key indexes sooner than normal, per Wall Street Journal. SpaceX might be joining the S&P 500 very soon. Bitcoin's still doing its little bounce for ants. We get some chat. Tom Selleck's Goat read that. Waterfly said Amazon dumped because they said they need to spend $200 million bill on data centers. Yeah. Mr. Roberts said, hey JJ, contrary to all the red happening lately, I took call options on Blackstone today. Can you check the chart? It bounces like a pogo when it hits the 200 week. Derek said, I don't need doofus AI while shopping on Amazon. So dumb. All right. Let's see. We are looking at BZ. BlackRock. Do I just look at BlackRock? Blackstone. My bad. Blackstone. BX. It's BX. My bad. Must have been a typo. Okay. BX. Blackstone on the daily. Excuse me. I do see a head and shoulder, but we've pointed out 1,000 times when these invalidate, they invalidate pretty tremendously. It also looks very similar to this move, which did result in further downside. Is that a recurring pattern? Yeah, it kind of is. I see it right here as well. This one just resulted in some sideways and then eventual upside, so kind of a nothing burger with that. It is incredibly oversold on the daily RSI. Wow, look at that. It is currently sitting at approximately, what is that, 22 on the RSI? Crazy. Let's get that. You said 200 moving average. I'm not sure what moving average this is, but let's get it up. That's daily. Did you say weekly? 200 week. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. 200 week sitting at approximately 125. It's at 126.83. It does bounce off the 200 week. Hey, I think that's an easy bet. Not financial advice, obviously, guys. What I really like about this on the weekly is that this is consolidating. Like that could be a pretty hefty explosion later. Not financial advice. But it does look very nice on that 200 week moving average as well. Get rid of that. Go back to Fu Manchu, even though it doesn't really do much for us in these trying times. Bitcoin 3.66% in the green. It is losing some of its bounce for ants. Let's see what happens. We got nice wick indicative of some buying pressure, very similar to this wick and this wick though, so we'll see what comes of it. And this wick, all of which resulted in further downside. People don't like the Bitcoin anymore. People do not like the Bitcoin. Some alts are getting a little green. Nasdaq trying to recover here. S&P don't really care. Yeah, interesting times, man. Interesting times for sure. The U.S. debt crisis is accelerating. U.S. debt interest payments as a percentage of federal revenue are expected to surge to a record 23% by 2035. According to CBO estimates, this would more than double the average seen between 2002 and 2022. Interest payments as a percentage of revenue have already risen 10 percentage points over the last 4 years to 19%, near an all-time high. In other words, for every $5 the government collects in taxes, $1 goes to paying interest on federal debt. Interest costs on public debt are up to a record $1.2 trillion over the last 12 months. What is the long-term plan here? Just zero it out. It's all fake. It's all made up. Zero it out. The U.S. manufacturing downturn bottoming out. ISM manufacturing PMI jumped 4.7 points in January to 52.6, the highest since August 2022. This marks the first monthly expansion in 12 months. New orders surged 9.7 points to 57.1, the highest since February 2022, suggesting more resilience ahead. Furthermore, the backlog of orders rose 5.8 points to 51.6, the highest since August 2022. The employment index increased plus 3.3 points to 48.1, the highest since January 2025, but remained in contraction for the 12th consecutive month. Meanwhile, prices paid increased 0.5 points to 59.0, significantly below the June peak of 69.7. Nice. The manufacturing sector finally appears to be rebounding. Let's frickin' go. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this... Now, I don't want to be copium, so I apologize that it's going to seem like that. I think the manufacturing index, alongside Warsh Fed chair, he's probably going to get in. And allegedly, the rumor is he's going to get in, he's going to cut rates tremendously, and he's just going to stay out of the way, which would be ideal. We do like quantitative easing. If he doesn't do away with the current structure, if he just steps in, cuts rates, and is like, go do your thing, I think we'll be in a good place. But there's uncertainty right now because no one knows what the hell he's going to do. We got a couple months of Powell left over. And we got our expansion, ISM manufacturers PMI. That prints an expansion again next month. I think we're going to start to see some results. Until then, though, obviously, the market's taking a big fat dump. We're going to keep our eye on it and continue to talk about it. I see a buying opportunity here. And the reason why I'm so confident in saying that is because no matter what has happened, we had a global pandemic where, you literally couldn't leave the house. It was illegal. They were doing a lottery for people that got vaccinated, which is the most dystopian thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That was creepy. But we experienced that, and the market still recovered. So to think that right here, this was the pandemic dump. We went through that, and the market skyrocketed. Obviously, money printer, but then we corrected, and the market skyrocketed. And then we corrected. And the market skyrocketed. It's going to skyrocket no matter what. And if it doesn't, then guess what? If we just plummet and everything goes to zero, your last concern is going to be your investments or your money. You're going to be more concerned with food and shelter at that point. So it's kind of silly. I understand wanting to try to preserve capital for the future, and you can buy the dip. That's totally fine if you want to try to do that. Maybe... just figure out your game plan. Do what you think is right. Personally, I see a better risk reward here than anything else. And I guess my favorite thing to say is downside risk stops at zero. Upside reward is technically infinite. And again, that's some primo copium, but it is true. It is 100% true. And if you disagree, then you're delusional. You're about as delusional as us altcoin buyers. Okay. Breaking. Silver prices crashed 22% in 2 hours, now dropping below $74 an ounce as metals post massive reversal. That's minus $17 an ounce in just 2 hours. That was 23 hours ago. We've got investors piling into emerging markets at a record pace. Emerging markets ETFs attracted $20.6 billion in inflows last month, the biggest monthly intake on record. This marks the 12th consecutive monthly inflow. This also nearly triples the prior 2 months and doubles the previous peak set in 2018. The MSCI Emerging Markets ETF, IEMG, covering 24 emerging markets countries, attracted $8.9 billion in inflows, or 43% of the total. Its largest monthly intake I don't know where I got the word target from, since its inception in 2012. As a result, the MSCI Emerging Market Index rallied 8.8% in January, its biggest start to a year since 2012. Bullish momentum in emerging markets is accelerating. I actually am very interested in looking at this because emerging markets seems kind of like a no-brainer. Obviously, there's huge risk to it, but I don't know. Again, risk-reward. I do have a poll for you guys. Totally forgot to do that. We've been going for how long? An hour? I forgot to do the poll an hour ago? Jeez. It's because you guys were so active in the chat. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's see. I have, will we see a V-shaped recovery by Monday? Let's see. I've got yes. This is a flash crash. No. Bear market is here. We go lower first. I don't know. Hold me. I'm scared. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you could direct your attention to the poll in the chat, I asked you guys, are we going to see a V-shaped recovery by Monday? Your options are, yes, this is a flash crash. No, bear market is here. We go lower first, or I don't know. I'm scared. Hold me. All right, let's see. Bitcoin still chilling up 2.96% on the day. It's $64,747.35. Are you de-risking or are you adding to your bags? ETH, $1,908.54, or are you just watching and waiting? Solana down 0.74, down, currently trading at 77.86. I guess the biggest surprise to me is silver and gold. Where's the flight to safety? You know what I mean? And you're not going to tell me it's fiat. That's like bananas. Flight to safety in cash is weird. It's a weird thing. Okay, crypto liquidations officially rise above 700 million today as Bitcoin falls into $71,000. That was 23 hours ago. 71K seems almost unattainable at this point. We're at 64. 71 is so long ago. Bitcoin has officially erased post-election gains, now falling to 71,000, its lowest level since November 6th, 2024. A nice reset. Bitcoin drops below 71K and ETH drops below 2,100 as selling pressure mounts. Levered liquidations in crypto are nearing 800 million in 24 hours. Wow. Bitcoin falls below 70K for the first time since November 2024. This is absolutely insane. On October 6th, crypto markets had a record high market cap of 4.3 trillion. Today, the crypto market is worth just 2.3 trillion, losing 2 trillion worth of market cap in 4 months. In other words, around 46% of crypto's entire value has been wiped out since October 6th. Bear markets arrive when markets least expect it. I think that's my issue, is everyone was expecting this. That's the biggest thing that I've seen. The biggest problem is everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is what's going to happen. And that's been happening. Every time the masses are like, I think that this is going to happen. It's going to zero tomorrow. Then it goes to zero tomorrow. It's the weirdest thing. I've never seen the masses that right that consistently before. It's freaking me out. U.S. employers announced 108,435 layoffs in January, up 205% from December, to the highest January total since 2009. That's coincidence. Breaking, ETH drops below $2,000 for the first time since May 2025, now down 32% year to date. Bitcoin is now below 68,000 and down 22% year to date. Wow. Here we go. U.S. tech stocks since record highs. Strategy is down 80%. Coinbase is down 66%. Netflix is down 40%. Palantir 36%. AMD 27%. Microsoft 27%. Broadcom 25%. Tesla 20%. Nvidia 18%. And Meta 17%. Magnificent Seven stocks have now lost nearly $3 trillion of market cap since their recent record highs. Use volatility to acquire high-quality names at a discount. Eliminate the noise, and this market becomes highly profitable. It does. It really does. Breaking, another 1.4 billion of levered crypto positions have been liquidated over the past 24 hours. At a total of 8.5 billion worth of levered positions have been liquidated since January 28th. Damn. It's official. Bitcoin has now erased all of its gains since President Trump was elected on November 5th, 2024. Bitcoin is now down 6% since Trump's election. Is this justified, or are investors lost in the noise? Interesting. What do you guys think? We are below Trump election prices. Are we actually going to be entering a bear market, or do you think his ego is going to force him to step in and do something? Well, I think the funniest thing was, for some reason, I don't know if he was testifying or something, but they were asking Besant if the U.S. government could print money to bail out or use taxpayer dollars to bail out Bitcoin. And I don't even know where that question came from. When has anybody made that suggestion? You know what I mean? Like, usually they're going to question about, like, oh, well, you said this or whatever. They're like fabricating stuff at this point. They're like, are you going to use taxpayer dollars to bail out Bitcoin? And I was watching and I was like, why would they ask him that? That's like the crazy. When did anyone ever say the US government is going to bail out Bitcoin? I've never heard of that. Kind of blew my mind. I thought it was kind of funny. Let's see, gold and silver turning green. Is this all one big fake out? The volatility has been through the roof. Can we see volatility? Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been worse before? This is crazy. I guess that's S&P. Is there like just a general volatility index for like everything? Just US? Jeez, this is crazy. I mean, it is quite a time to be alive. I will say that. I will say that for sure. You guys are quiet in the chat. I don't know. I'm talking to myself. Okay. Markets are in unprecedented territory. There has arguably never been a market with more noise and day-to-day headlines than now, from tariffs to geopolitical tensions or to AI and everything in between. The noise levels are unprecedented. But this is opportunity. As we note in our video below, those who eliminate the noise are winning the most in this market. Use periods of emotional price action to capitalize on volatility. It's a great time to be an investor. John said, JJ is a great snake poo today. Loving my colon. Smash the like. JJ is the man. Appreciate you, John. Guys, make sure you look after your colon health. You don't want to get butt cancer. It's real and it sucks. For real. Take care of your poo. Also, how much time are you wasting on the toilet because you're constipated? Regulate your bowels. Bitcoin falls below $64,000, now down $9,000 today as selling pressure accelerates. Bitcoin did not regulate its bowels, and now it's shitting out its ass. And that's a bad thing because it's all coming out at once. Crypto market losses officially exceed 300. What is that, trillion? Oh my gosh. Nope, 300 billion. I feel like I've been doing that every single day. Crypto market losses officially exceed 300 billion for the day, on track for the biggest daily drop since October 10th liquidation. 2 billion worth of levered positions have been liquidated in 24 hours. Bitcoin is at 62K. Guys, we all need to go kiss CZ's ass, apologize for fudding him and being mean, so that way he can pump the markets. He's very mad and he's crashing the markets because of that. Cashjoke said the fib from 16K to 126, 1618, or I'm sorry, 0.618, is at 57K. 786 at 40K. I like that, Cashjoke. I'm going to put that on the chart. This is from 16K to 126K. We've got 57. And I'm going to put 0.618 fib from 16K to 126K. Credit Cashjoke. And then the other one, copy. This one is going to be 40K. This is the 786. What did I say? 40K. All right. Thank you, Cashjoke. Appreciate you. JY's Adventure said, apologize to CZ or no super cycle for you. You want a super cycle? Am I allowed to do that? No super cycle for you. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Just cancel me now, guys. My political career is probably not going to happen anyways. Cheers. Maybe you guys will vote for me because I do funny, stupid accents. Doesn't everyone have a certain percent? I'm sorry. I was going to. There was a DNA thing I was going to talk about, but I feel like it's a little too dark. Amazon stock falls 10% after reporting Q4 2025 earnings. It's now down 15% on the day, including the regular hours move. There's a really good quote from Bezos about, I don't remember, man, the exact quote. Let me see if I can find it. It's a really good quote. Bezos quote on share prices being down. He said, when the stock is down 30% in a month, it's not going to feel so good to feel 30% dumber. No, that's not the quote at all. Oh, it's such a good quote too, dang it. I'm never gonna find it. It was so good. He was talking about how the company isn't actually worth that much less. Is it this? I think it's this one. Yahoo Finance. I'm gonna have to dig. He said, despite Amazon's fluctuating stock price, I don't spend any time thinking about the daily price. No, that's not it either. Oh, right here. The stock is not the company, and the company is not the stock. I think that's it. So the value of the company, he has like some really good intuition quote. It was very philosophical, and it was something along those lines. The stock is not the company, the company is not the stock. Basically saying, when the share prices drop that much, it's not because the company's actually devaluing, or it's not the company's, suddenly 50% less valuable. It's just that people are selling the stock. That's it. Jay Weisbencher said the Chinese accent wasn't good, so you're fine. If it was good, then it'd be racist. Damn, all the all the all the weebs are furious right now. G Immortal said, "Will sell-off continue as Asia wakes?" That is a great question. That is a great question. I think Asia's awake already. I think the market opened already. Unless I'm wrong, is it 9:30 or 10:30? I always thought it was really close to the daily close. Okay. Trueflation posted today's U.S. inflation, according to our independent price data aggregated daily. U.S. CPI 1.01%, U.S. core CPI 1.32%, U.S. PCE 1.29%, U.S. core PCE 1.48%, U.S. BLS comparison 0.53% when applying BLS's weights and categories to our data versus BLS CPI December 2.7%. BLS, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, moved its Wednesday CPI headline inflation release to Friday because of the brief government shutdown, which also affected all of the BLS labor releases for this and next week, which doesn't make any sense. It bugs the crap out of me. While official inflation numbers remain stable but somewhat elevated, and core PCE is even edging up from 2.7% to 2.8%, Trueflation real price data suggests we are entering a period of cooling inflation. The Trueflation data trends have been shown to precede BLS data by between 45 and 72 days, although the raw numbers rarely overlap as the indexes differ in their methodologies, data weighing, data source types, and timing. Trueflation aggregates millions of real price data from multiple providers, delivering an early inflation gauge daily. The BLS analyzes much fewer consumer surveys and delivers monthly reports. Interesting. GWS Adventure, yep, I read that. Okay. So Trueflation still showing really good inflation data. JOLTS today, delayed from February 3rd. The number of job openings declined 38, this is really important data for probably where the market's going to go in the long term. The number of job openings declined 386,000 to 6.5 million in December, now at 3.9%, reflecting a continued cooling trend in the labor market, according to US BLS. Main downtrend drivers in December were decreases in job openings in professional and business services, retail trade, and finance and insurance. Job openings were also down 966,000 since the same time last year. Hires were little changed month over month at 5.3 million in December. The number of hires increased in real estate and rental and leasing, state and local government, excluding education. Hires decreased in the federal government, 11,000. Total separations were little changed at 5.3 million in December. Total separations including quits, layoffs, discharges, and other separations. The number of total separations decreased in professional and business services, private education services. Total separations increased in transportation, warehousing, and utilities, and the federal government. In December, the number of and rate of quits were unchanged at 3.2 million and 2%. Increasingly, the number of layoffs and discharges in December was little changed at 1.8 million, and the rate was unchanged at 1.1%. Layoffs increased transportation, warehousing, and utilities, but decreased in finance and insurance. BLS also shared revisions for the November data, now showing a cooler labor market. The number of job openings for November was down by 218K to 6.9 million. The number of hires was revised up 6,000. The number of total separations was revised up by 64,000. The number of quits was revised up by 32,000. The number of layoffs and discharges was revised up by 14K. The number of other separations was revised up by 17,000. See, this is what's crazy to me. Evan said 12,561. This is what's crazy to me, is all of this data gets revised up or down, and it's like a worse or better situation. And the Federal Reserve is like, we base all of our information, all of our calls on this. And then they make a call, and then all of a sudden, all of that data for like 12 solid months gets changed. But the Federal Reserve doesn't do anything different? Shouldn't they change what they did based on the updated data? Am I crazy? Like, if the change in data actually warrants a change in the Federal Reserve's plan, shouldn't they make that change? It just seems odd to me. They're like, well, Joe said we're good, so we're good. We're not going to cut rates. And then, like, a month later, Joe's like, we're not good. We're really, really bad. We should have cut rates. And the Federal Reserve is like, well, he said we're good, so we're just fine. We're just going to pretend that we're good. You know, it doesn't matter that he changed his mind later. It blows my mind. All right, next. Truflation posted crypto markets are plummeting to new lows today, with Bitcoin hitting below 66K, triggering $700 million in liquidations. Crypto fear and greed index dropped into extreme fear. The move also affected tech stocks, suggesting a broader liquidity issue and heightened fears around risk assets and tech. Some potential drivers: software stocks sell off amid fears that Anthropic's Claude Cowork AI could disrupt the tech industry. Worse than expected ADP private jobs report yesterday. Jolt's release stoking concerns about cooling labor market today, while BLS data delays the employment situation report to next week. Big ETF holders moving their crypto to centralized exchanges, presumably to sell. Ambiguous comments that added fuel to the speculative fire. Lisa Cook's speech yesterday on stalling inflation progress and the Fed's taking the wait-and-see approach to further interest rate cuts. Shouldn't she be in prison for mortgage fraud? Because if I committed mortgage fraud, I would be in prison right now. Lisa Cook's fine, though. That's fine. Ongoing speculation about Kevin Warsh being hawkish and pro-quantitative tightening. Trump's comments about hoping Warsh knows he should cut rates. We think they might have been too ambiguous, as Trump couldn't outright say Warsh could cut, since the Fed's theoretically independent. Add to that AI trading bots tracking crypto sentiment across socials and automatically triggered DeFi liquidation that fuels more and more panic and liquidity draining out of tech stocks, and you might get the perfect storm. Meanwhile, the U.S. crypto legislation has been postponed till spring. Nobody cares about that. It's not going to do anything anyways. This is a temporary panic like during a DeepSeek, or are we in the crypto bear market? Let us know in the comments below. I mean, we're clearly in a bear market. The question is, when are we going to climb out of it? This one was actually kind of exciting. Brazil advances a bill to ban algorithmic stablecoins and require 100% reserves. I think everyone should do this, because algorithmic stablecoins have been the result of a lot of pain. The metal in a US 5-cent coin is worth 43% more than the coin's value. So if you sell your Bitcoin for nickels, you can make infinite money. That's actually hilarious. Gemini exits the United Kingdom, Europe, and Australian market. Guys, if you have a chance, if you have the opportunity, the capability, not financial advice, of shorting Gemini as a whole, I would take that opportunity. I'm, not going to condone that behavior, but I'm not a big fan of the Winklevoss twins, and I think that Gemini is insolvent. Not financial advice, though, allegedly. Calvin said, anyone else catch MicroStrategy's 4th Q earnings today? It was an interesting listen. I did not. They do, though, have like the capability of the vehicle essentially to hold out for years. So if this was a ploy to liquidate strategy, they would have to keep Bitcoin way below these levels for 2 years plus. So it's kind of silly to think that that's a possibility. Also, he's not leveraged. So the idea that he can be liquidated is also quite silly. Cashjoke said, I'm not a pro, lol, but not finding any bold divs on the 4-hour to daily. Might need price to bounce, then go lower to form higher low on MACD and Cypher B. Could take weeks to form. On the 4-hour? I mean, we don't need bullish div to go up. Yeah, there's definitely no bullish div here, that's for sure. I feel like there was recently. Was it right here? I think it was right here. That RSI going down. Gosh, it's hard to draw. RSI going down or up. Price going down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And we got this little baby uptrend, and then that died as well. Bitcoin currently sitting at $64,899 or $864.15. Is the pain going to continue? Is the ultimate question. Update: Tether invests $100 million in Anchorage Digital, the first federally regulated crypto bank in the U.S. to expand institutional infrastructure. Interesting. Volatility fades, conviction doesn't. Good job, Cointelegraph. Bitwise introduces a managed yield strategy for institutions with Kraken handling custody, execution, and risk oversight. I gotta say, Kraken has impressed me. I was a little turned off, a little sketchy whenever I thought about them, but they've held their own. They've done a good job. Over $1 billion in crypto liquidations recorded in the last 24 hours as Bitcoin tumbles. Antpool data shows several top ASIC miners have reached shutdown price and some close to break even. I gotta say, and I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday or the day before, I think artificial intelligence is actually a big threat to proof of work cryptocurrencies, to an extent where if we reach these levels where it actually costs more to mine Bitcoin than what you get back, miners are just going to pivot their hardware to artificial intelligence because they can actually make money there. So there could be some genuine trouble for Bitcoin's hash rate there. Not that it would ever stop. For sure, somebody would always be mining Bitcoin, but if enough people shut down, the hash rate will get easy enough for it to be profitable again. So maybe it's a self-healing mechanism. Bitcoin realized losses surged to 889 million daily on the 7-day average, the highest since November 2022 per Glassnode. Bitcoin has now given back its entire post-Trump win rally following the recent market drop. McDonald's has surpassed Ethereum in market capitalization. Bam. ETH is number 86. It got lapped by China Mobile, Siemens, T-Mobile, PepsiCo, SAP, and McDonald's. Wow. Potential roadmap for the coming months. Deep accumulation usually happens below the 200-week exponential moving average. Bitcoin, not financial advice. This is from Stock Money Lizards. He is calling for a potential recovery up to 78K and then more dip down to 55, followed by a lower low around 55, and then we get our actual bull market recovery. TechDead posted, warned of this exact short-term breakdown into the 60Ks for a month. And then 22 hours ago, he said, this business cycle has now extended to allow a mini liquidity cycle within it, still within same larger business cycle. Parabolic phase doesn't begin until it lifts off green and approaches yellow. What comes next? Next liquidity cycle already started. Cycle within a larger cycle. Impulse within a larger impulse. Plenty to keep this market nice and confused. The part you're waiting for still lies ahead. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Parabolic part of this macro cycle doesn't start until this lifts off. Mini liquidity cycle within larger one. End of Great Recession. Mini liquidity cycle within a larger one. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to follow that and see where it goes. The Cruise said, just sold my house. I'm going all in. Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear, guys. Conviction and some big balls. Cheers, my friend. Appreciate you for stopping by and smashing the like button. Oh, that's good. That's delicious. All right. Let's see gold and silver still in the pooper. Silver, baby recovery, pumper ants up 2.98%. Gold baby recovery pump for ants up 1.38%. Are we going to see a big fat green candle to the upside? That would be really funny. A lot of people would genuinely be confused. Jeff Park posted Bitcoin implied volume is now at 75%. This is the highest level since the ETF launched in 2024. It is also finally higher than gold volatility. No, it's a lot of pain right now, but this is all part of the process required for Bitcoin to make new highs. The melt up will be fast. Hell yeah. This one was interesting. Almost time to go shopping. This is from Bitminer Bulls. Fundstrat Sean Farrell called it. Bitcoin 60 to 65K. ETH 1.8 to 2K. That range is now. Absolute legend. If that holds, then he will be revered as a king. Javon Marks posted, on the left is how alt season started in 2017. On the right is the current alt season I can't read. On the right is the current action. Do you see anything similar? He posted shoulder, head, shoulder. I don't see it. That's very sloppy, but sure. Shoulder, head, shoulder. This is, I'm assuming, Bitcoin dominance? I don't know. I don't know what chart this is. Alt season results in a breakdown of whatever this is measuring. Excluding top 10. This is total crypto market cap? Really? Excluding top 10 to Bitcoin? Including top 10. What? Total market cap excluding top 10 to Bitcoin. Okay. So total 3? That don't make no sense. That's confusing. All right. Epic Bull Run 2026 begins. We've got, these are more arbitrary charts. I just like looking at these. I like seeing other people's ideas, no matter how outlandish they are. February, fake crash. March, ETH rally. April, altcoins rally. May, ETH euphoria, 8K. June, bull trap. July, forced liquidations. August, bear market. Screenshot this and compare later. Not financial advice. I like it. I don't know if this guy realizes where we are right now, though. But I'll take it. Amundi, Europe's largest asset manager with 2.4 trillion in assets under management, will reduce exposure to the United States over the next 12 months. Wow. The 501 said, what up, brother? What's going on, 501? Thank you for smashing the like button. Happy Thursday, my friend. Gold back above 5K. Is it still? Gold is 48.37 and is no longer back above 5K. Damn. Rejection. I'm still looking forward to seeing if that fractal plays out. Bitcoin 65.84 and 78 cents, up 3.45% on the day. Down tremendously, though. After we lost 75K, it got a little bit dicey. Breaking U.S. housing market. Home sellers now outnumber buyers by 530,000, the largest gap ever recorded. Good. Good. I hope nobody's ever able to sell their home and they get desperate and they start selling it for stupid cheap prices. Bar chart posted coffee on track for lowest closing price since August. Hell yeah, I like me some good cheap coffee that's still delicious. U.S. Treasury just bought back $4 billion of their own debt. Hopefully they continue. Retail traders bought more than 350. Wow, that was full dyslexia. $350 million worth of stocks in January, the largest monthly inflow in history, and they have all probably since been completely dumped on. Uranium absolutely torched. How do they measure? Uranium is probably the funniest thing to chart, in my opinion. Looks like we won't even need energy for AI anymore. Apparently a few oil lamps will be enough to run the future of computing. That's great. Stock market sees most amount of fear in almost 2 months. We're back at 34. Stock market fear and greed. Google fell below its 50-day moving average for the first time since June. Number go down. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff loading in. Don't want to spoil it. Spoilers. Shield your eyes. Software stocks absolutely falling off a cliff. I believe software as a service is genuinely screwed with the AI innovations that we've seen as of late. So it's going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF records 10 billion in daily trading volume for the first time ever. Wow, that's crazy. 501 said, my theory is that billionaire PDF elite... I like that. I like that acronym. That's a good one. Are showing the government what's up, giving them a little taste of what we will do if they unredact. I'm running out of conspiracy theories. My conspiracy theory is just that there's no money. We ran out of money, and people are scared. All of the money is going, like, getting parked in places, and they aren't printing more for whatever reason. even though it's all sitting in a closet at some, rich guy's house. And there's like a flight to liquidity. Everyone was over leveraged. Online gambling was legalized, and we got way too comfortable with leverage and paper contracts. And here we are. But I don't know, I'm just as oblivious as the rest of us. This one's interesting. Bitcoin is in a bear market. Whoops, I thought that was show more. Bitcoin is in a bear market, and its weekly RSI is extremely oversold, below 30. Bitcoin was this oversold only 4 times before. In every instance, Bitcoin was higher 4 days later with an average gain of 16%. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that's my other conspiracy theory. I mean, they're all pretty much valid at this point. I don't even know if we can call them conspiracy theories anymore. They're all true over time. They all become true. CME Group posted, get ready for the launch of Cardano, Chainlink, and Stellar futures in less than 1 week. Add greater versatility and product choice to your portfolio with our expanded crypto suite. Very cool. Bitcoin versus Pokemon. This is for you, Waterfly. Bitcoin is down 30.67% the past month. Pokemon is up apparently $1,500. I'm glad I can see the percentage here. Umbreon is up 1.8%. I don't know. It increases in value, which is very exciting. Here we go. Kobayashi letter. Ultimately, Bitcoin and the broader crypto are not new to massive 50% drawdowns. If you zoom out far enough, every bear market and crash becomes a rounding error. We think Bitcoin remains promising long term. Very cool. They also posted, what is happening in crypto? Since October 10th, the crypto markets are now down 50%, erasing $2.2 trillion worth of market cap. Bitcoin has officially erased all of its post-election rally, now down 10% since Trump's election. Why is it crashing? Let us explain. Let's actually read this thread. As of 8 a.m. today, Bitcoin has officially erased post-election rally. Yet over the last 60 days, the fundamental price for crypto actually vastly unchanged. That's why many investors are confused. Why is crypto crashing if the fundamental picture is unchanged? The answer to this question requires going back to October 10th. The most recent top in crypto came on October 6th, just 4 days before the $19.5 billion record liquidation. Something structural appeared to have shifted on October 10th, and markets never truly recovered. Then, between November 15th and January 15th, Bitcoin was entirely range-bound. However, we would see brief periods of liquidations with gaps in both directions. This was yet another sign of the structural collapse in crypto. Finally, the range broke to the downside on January 16th. As price action deteriorated, so did sentiment. If previous crypto cycles have taught us anything, it's that the sentiment is all that matters. As seen below, sentiment has traded near straight line lower since October 10th. Even relief rallies failed to shift sentiment. The result is a massive virtuous cycle, shifting from liquidations to sentiment deterioration and back. Since January 24th, we have seen $10 billion worth of levered positions liquidated. That's 55% of the record amount seen on October 10th. It's a structural decline. Crypto liquidations near $10 billion since January 24th. Further evidence of this being structural decline is the spread of selling pressure into other asset classes. Larger cap tech stocks are dropping sharply despite stronger earnings and little fundamental change. Liquidation gaps in crypto are carrying over into equities. Even more evidence that this is liquidity induced and structural in nature is market depth. Bitcoin's market depth, the capital available to absorb large orders, is still more than 30% below its October peak. Last time this happened was after the FTX collapse in 2022. The 501 said, I asked Gemini, what's the best safe haven asset right now? It told me farmland. Looks like this is the end, boys. LMF. That's freaking hilarious, dude. Farmland. Google's like, just buy some grass, bro. You need to get yourself a nice sod field and just go touch grass. Legit. Today's decline was particularly noteworthy as Bitcoin fell over 9,000 and selling pressure was constant. At times, Bitcoin would fall 2K in a matter of minutes. It seems that large player, perhaps an institutional investor, sold/liquidated during today's session. Damn. So the question becomes, when will crypto bottom? The answer to this question is when structural liquidity is restored. This will be a combination of both capitulation in price and leverage, as well as maximum bearish sentiment. We seem to be somewhat near that point. Extreme volatility is here to stay. As uncertainty has elevated yet again, the macroeconomy is shifting, and stocks, commodities, bonds, and crypto will move. Want to receive our premium analysis? Cool. Ultimately, Bitcoin and broader crypto are not new to massive 50+% drawdowns. I think we read this one. Hell yeah. Kobe, see you later, guys. Go give them a follow. They're totally worth it. Great market updates. There's now 59% chance that Bitcoin fall below 50K this year per Polymarket. In other words, the market base case implies a drop below 50K is imminent. Breaking Bitcoin's fear and greed index falls to 12. Extreme fear just 2 points away from April 2025 levels. Selling is becoming emotional. You don't say. Bitcoin up 3.15% on the day. Some alts are trying to recover. Probably going to get completely wrecked in a short period of time. Investors are rushing into consumer staples at a record pace. Individual and professional investors bought $702 million in consumer staples, stocks, and ETFs last week, posting the 4th consecutive weekly inflow. Over the last 4 weeks, consumer staples have attracted $3.6 billion in inflows. As a result, the 4-week average purchases rose to $915 million, and the highest since data began in 2008. This is 17 times higher than the 12-week average of $54 million. Furthermore, the 4-week average of net flows as a percentage of market cap is up to 0.03, an all-time high. Investors are rotating into defensive stocks. JOS Venture said fear on CoinMarketCap hit 5 lowest it's ever been. I saw that. The stupid fear and greed index that stopped measuring 15% of their data on a website that they own is at 9, which is crazy. This is what bugs me. They stopped doing straw polls, which was 15% of their data in the past, and they own the website. They literally own strawpolls.com. So I don't know why they stopped measuring that, but that's cool. So now 15% of this is just wrong. But that's whatever. That's fine. It's been, actually, it looks arguably like it's been below 40 for like majority of its life, which is quite interesting. But yeah, we are definitely in either like summer of 2021 or summer of 2022. It's looking pretty bleak. That Pulse Play said, if you look at the weekly on Bitcoin, we're about to bounce. Weekly RSI. See, the technicals I don't think matter right now, man. That's what sucks. It's such a mess. Weekly RSI, yeah, it is oversold. See, that's what crazy. It's like we're literally, weekly RSI is oversold. The last time it was this oversold was June 2022. But what sucks about that is we went lower before. And then we finally bounced. But I definitely would make that argument. I would be fully on board with the idea that we are hitting this low right here that we hit in June of 2022. I'm also a little pessimistic right now, so if we went lower, I would not be surprised at all, which also sucks. But yeah, see if we get a bounce. If there is a liquidity crisis and there's no money to go around, it's going to be probably pretty uneventful. But we'll see what happens. I'm open for anything, you know. I'm not selling my bags. I've told you guys already. The downside risk stops at 0. Upside reward is infinite. I would much rather, it's way easier for me to cope with losing money than for me to cope with missing out on generational wealth. So I'm just going to continue to throw money at this like a psychopath and hope that I don't turn schizophrenic. Let's see, 2.2 trillion worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past. Did I do it again? I'm sorry. 2.2 billion worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 24 hours. And Solana falls under $70 for the first time since 2023. That is pretty damn crazy. Bitcoin, 64,926 and 21 cents. All right. Yeah, not a whole lot going on, man. I'm hoping we get a bounce. That would be sick. But I'm not holding my breath. because I was not expecting us to drop this fast. Even last bear market, we didn't even drop this fast. Let me show you guys. I got this silly fractal here. Let's go to the daily at least. Yeah. Look at the fractal. Like, it took us from last bull market peak to where we're at right now, in theory. It took us 220 days, and we just did that in 122 days. So 100 days less. Literally 50% of the time to go down essentially the same amount. As far as the chart's concerned, we have not hit that 75% mark yet, which is allegedly 30K. Or not allegedly, that is actually where it's at. But look how oversold we are. The daily is like crazy oversold. Last time we were this oversold was February 2025. The weekly, yeah, look at that. Weekly RSI, we are at bear market bottom levels. All we got to do is put in that stupid little lower low, and then we can climb out of this bad boy. Let's do it. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I wanted to do this. Yeah, are we going to do one of these guys? Give me an eventual, we're looking at September. Jeez, that really aligns with the stupid 4chan post. All right, let's get back to the 4-hour time frame. Greg said, ahoy, JJ and crew. Hold fast, pirates. What's going on, Greg? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're good. Let me go get back to the 4-hour. Very cool. My recommendations. Focus on, this is going to sound really corny and potentially gay, so I apologize. Focus on your mental health, obviously. Make sure you're comfortable, either losing the amount of money that you're potentially losing, or buying the amount of, like, adding the amount of money that you're, whatever. Take care of your finances. Make sure that you're going to be okay. Take care of your brain. Make sure that you're going to be not crazy. And take care of your family. Spend time with the family, you know. Family's what we're doing it for. Bitcoin 64,900. Let's see if we get a bounce out of this crap hole. We got our 618 fib from Cash Oak, measuring 16 to 126 is at 57K. So let's see if we go down there. We did get a nice wick bounce off 60K. So if that was the bottom, that would be interesting. I'm not going to do a portfolio update. Portfolio's in shambles. They're probably all down like 75% or more. So just accept that as your answer for the portfolios. Silver and gold sell-off is, I think, the biggest anomaly to me, because it's not a flight to safety. It's just a flight like out of everything. It's a flight to the dollar, it seems. So who knows? Is it a liquidity crisis? What induced it? I have zero answers. It's about as confusing as everything else is. But I am, I suppose, do we call it early? We've been going for an hour and a half. I feel like we can call it. We went through the news. Market's not doing much. That'd be cool if we could get a crazy move and I could stream the crazy move. But I suppose. Greg said April 2021 all-time high just got tested. Basically a 5-year retest. If it doesn't hold, then the abyss is next. Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see. That would be sick if it plays out like that. But we'll have to wait and see. I suppose I'm going to call it, guys. Let's end our poll. Let's see what our poll results are. I asked you guys, will we see a V-shaped recovery by Monday? 33% of you guys said yes, this is a flash crash. 28% of you said no, bear market is here. 22% said, I don't know, hold me, I'm scared. 17% said we go lower first out of 18 votes. Appreciate you guys. Killed it. Let's see if we get a flash crash V-shaped recovery by Monday. That'd be pretty sick. The people have spoken. Guys, as always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday and good night.